Hello, hello. Welcome to the Birth and Parenting Show with me, Amity Kramer. This is episode number 5. I am committed to making 8 episodes and then reevaluating, like the way to make any good decision. It's really hard to just jump in and say, I'm going to do a podcast forever. I'm going to do anything forever. And so we're going to do 8 episodes. And if it keeps on running, great. If not, I'm going to see these 8 episodes as a success. So if you're listening to this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you've got any feedback, let me know. Okay, gonna jump right in. This week we have 5 unexpected ways that partners can help with birth, some interesting ways that you can use a Peri bottle right after you have a baby, and if you have one laying around the house, some ideas to recycle that, and some activities that you can do with your adult friends or with yourself, with your spouse. And I'm gonna end it up with a personal story about what I did when someone I care about is not making decisions that are good for them. So let's get started. 5 unexpected ways that partners can help in birth. These are unexpected and they're easy. So get closer. That's all you have to do. Step closer to the birthing person. Heavy hands is number 2. This just means you don't have to rub all the time. Just putting your hand on someone's shoulder, touching someone's foot with your hand. And if you just kind of gently touch them, sometimes that can be annoying, but if you put a little pressure on it, it can actually feel really soothing. So if you want to try this out, whether you're pregnant or not, this can be helpful. You just walk by your partner, you stop for 5 seconds, put your hand on their shoulder and see how they feel. It's like a hug, but more fun. Eye contact. This is something that's really underestimated in birth. Being able to hold a gaze with the pregnant person is really, really helpful. And one of them that is a little bit more challenging to do, but is still so useful and kind of unexpected, is to actually see and acknowledge the pain. All too often in our society, in birth, at work, in our families, people quickly go to brush off pain and suffering. We do this to ourselves, we do this to people we care about. It's not that bad. Don't worry. It's not that big of a deal. It'll all be all right. These are all statements that are highly invalidating because when someone is suffering or just in discomfort, most of the time, they know it won't last forever. They know it's not a huge deal, but a little validation can go a long way, especially in the birth room. This is especially true, I think, around birth and parenting because sometimes people are, how do I say this? The person who really truly knows the heart of the other person is the partner. Nurses, midwives, pediatricians, nannies, they do not know the depths of that person. And so their validation is not always the same. The last one is to remember the why. Being able to call on the why and remember that this is about the baby. It's about creating family. And that is the reason you are enduring this situation. And I'll throw in a bonus one in here. I think it's important to remember when we're parenting during birth that people actually have a choice. Now, someone might get very in dire circumstances where there actually is no choice, but a lot of the families that I'm working with, and if you're listening to this, you probably do actually have a choice in the matter. One of my best friends used to tell me all the time, he'd invite me someplace and I'd be like, no, I can't go, I have to work. He'd be like, you can quit your job. And I always thought that was ridiculous. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that we actually do choose. We choose this life and we choose what we're doing. And so there is usually options. And when you think about it from that perspective, it's like, oh, yeah, right. We are choosing to do this. And in the context of birth, one of the things that happens is sometimes people choose to do something that's hard and maybe without pain medication, or, they are choosing to do something more challenging in not having certain medical interventions. And so always remembering that you do have a choice and that you do have a say. The next topic is the Peri bottle. If you still have one of these around your house, or if you haven't given birth yet, you will receive a Peri bottle. Now, these are a thin plastic bottle with a little spray cap. And what these are for is to fill with water, and it serves two purposes. I call it the poor man's bidet. What it does is it can spray and clean off the perineum at a time when there might be stitches and swelling, and toilet paper is just not going to do the trick. The other thing that it is beneficial for is when someone urinates, you can spray the Peri bottle and mix it with the urine stream, and this will prevent stinging where there is stitches or tears in the perineum. So those are the two main reasons that people are using it. The bonus reason, some people fill it with a sitz bath mixture. So this is like an herbal bath that you can sit in, or you can put it in the Peri bottle and spray the perineum with an herbal substance that will be rejuvenating to the perineum. So those are the things that it's beneficial for right after the baby's born. And again, you get one of these in your home birth kit, or you get one at the hospital. Everybody's got one that they use for temporarily. And then that means we have a lot of Peri bottles at home. If you have a Peri bottle at home, here are 3 ideas that you can reuse the Peri bottle. 1, it makes a great bath toy. Kids love them. It can be used to water your plants, especially if you have any plants in like teeny tiny little pots that are hard to water and the water spills out. And it can be used as a dish soap dispenser and be a little reminder of a time long ago when you gave birth and needed it for very different purposes. It is still Pride Month. This weekend, you can see if there is a Pride Month event near you. We also have, some family ideas. Sometimes people want things they can do with their kids. And it is helpful in our culture for people to be in service to one another. I found this neat website that is a food pantry finder. So you may think, oh, what am I going to do with food pantries? But this is something that you can actually do with your kiddos. You can, when you go to the grocery store, you can purchase food and then stop and drop it off at the food pantry on your way home. So I'm going to put a link to the food pantry website. You can find a food pantry near you, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to fill the whole thing, but it's just something that you could do with your kiddos that says, hey, we're helping our neighbors, we're helping other people. And so they can think about that. Some adult time ideas. There is an event happening on July 9th called Mothers on the Mic. And this is an open mic night from 6 to 9 o'clock where moms can share or listen. Everybody's welcome to be in the audience. And so if you want to do some comedy, you want to read some poetry, a journal entry, on their website, it suggests just text message exchanges. Sometimes looking back at those, there might be something funny. So Moms on the Mic, that's happening July 9th. And the other thing that I saw that I thought was interesting is that there is a art gallery downtown in Pioneer Square that is open again on Thursday nights, and it is centering adventure and sexuality and understanding and enjoying the romantic expression. I don't know, I haven't been there yet, but wow, what a cool thing to go and check out on your date night. And finally, today, I have a personal story for you about what I did when someone in my life was just not not doing what is good for them. First of all, I am very good at judging what other people do or don't do, as we all are. And so when you see somebody that just kind of is hitting roadblock after roadblock, there comes a point when there can be some anger from the person who's the bystander. And this happened to me recently, and I was real angry. And so, first off, I validated my anger and my frustration with the situation and feeling a lack of control, right? Anger usually comes from when your boundaries are being pushed and you don't feel that there's control in a situation. And that's definitely how I felt in this moment. And so my instinct, my my desire was to shout and yell and degrade and, you know, go and have a talk with this person and let them know that, they're not doing what needs to be done. And here's all the reasons why they should do something different. And I acknowledged the desire in myself and I acknowledged the feelings behind it. And ends up, I, you know, took some time for myself and remembered really what are my values around this type of situation and what I know is even more true than my anger. And that is that no one improves their life because of personal shame. And so, me going to tell someone who's not being productive enough or is not doing what they need to do, reminding them that, you know what, they're really not doing the right thing, that's not actually helpful. It's not actually helpful in the moment. It's not going to motivate them. And so shame is not the right response. The other thing that I realize is that most people are doing the best that they can. And I know this one is hard for me to acknowledge, but I really do believe that if someone could do something better, they would probably be doing it, right? No one wants to feel like a failure. No one is like excited about not accomplishing their goals. And so just being humble and remembering that sometimes not very good is actually the best that someone can do. And the last piece of advice that I gave myself was something that I heard from Pam England, one of my most influential mentors long ago. She told me, Amity, dry wood burns. And that was a real key slogan that I have remembered time and time again when being around folks who, just don't seem to be doing the right thing or the thing that's good for them, is remembering that everybody has their own process and that remembering to just acknowledge that they are on their own timeline and it may not match my timeline, but I don't really have control over what other people do or think. And so trying to step back, process my anger and frustration, and acknowledge and remember that people are doing the best that they can and that my support and encouragement and kindness is probably the most that I can do in any one of these situations. Hope this is helpful for you all. If you have any feedback for me about this podcast, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much